It was a back-and-forth battle tonight here at Ball Arena, but the Denver Nuggets ultimately fell. Their home win streak of 6 wins snapped. Their overall win streak of 7 wins snapped. They fall to the Chicago Bulls 130-127. Welcome to Nuggets Post-Game Live, presented by your Toyota stores. Katie Wingy, Chris Dempsey, Bill Hanslick, getting into why the Denver Nuggets ended up losing this game to the Chicago Bulls. Again, back and forth, but it felt like the Nuggets just didn't have enough in them to get this one.
Yeah, it was interesting from an energy level standpoint. The Nuggets did come off the road, and the first game off the road, as Hans always says, is difficult. But the Chicago Bulls played last night, and they had more energy in this basketball game, and they were more able to get to the stuff that I think that what makes them successful, right? They're an up and down team. They're a motion, passing, driving, cutting, kick out for threes basketball team, and they were able to get to all of those things much more than the Nuggets were able to get to the things that make them most successful.
Yeah, at the end of the day, 130 points on your home court where you've been pretty good defensively, just not good enough. I think the other thing I was thinking about is this is the first game that I thought not having Christian Brown really hurt.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They didn't have enough defensively. They were off guys. Chicago really dictated. Nuggets kind of got into the hope they missed defense, and that's where you roll the dice, and unfortunately it wasn't good enough tonight.
It also felt like they were a step late with some of the adjustments they were making defensively, too. The Bulls came out and hit a whole bunch of threes, and then they started scoring in transition, so it was like once the Nuggets adjusted, the Bulls just countered and were able to come back. Their offense, Chicago's, really good tonight. Denver's defense didn't do a great job challenging them, but take a look at some of the numbers behind Chicago's offense. 130 points, like you mentioned, Han. 66 bench points. And we talked about this. They use their bench a lot, so that's not abnormal. How many did they have last night, Demps?
Last night they had 71 points off their bench.
And that was double overtime.
Yeah.
So but they produce off of their bench. The paint points, 50, the fast break points, 23, and then they shot 53 threes, so the percentage isn't all that great, but they made 19 of them. A lot of those came in the first half.
Yeah, they did, and a lot of them, and they just came in different ways, right? I think the point I was making prior to the game was they get a big chunk of them in transition, which they got a few, but they got a lot of them in the half court as well. And, pace isn't just running up and down the court. It's also how fast you are able to get into and flow through your actions in a half court. You see, this is a great passing team. It's a one more pass. And what I mean by that is if the ball's kicked out, they pass it one more time to the guy who's really open. And those players were making 3-pointers tonight. And Hands, part two, the way the Nuggets play defense, they really do want to take your paint away first. And so they get in gaps, they shrink the court, and then they want to get out to 3-point shooters where they were just a step slow on that tonight.
I just thought the Nuggets were too far off them. And another thing, you talk about the passing of the Bulls, really good. How many times have you seen the Nuggets out-assisted in a game? 31-21. So the Nuggets relied on a lot of great one-on-one play from their starters. The Bulls attack gaps, kick. There was one play, the Nuggets had a lot of momentum, and I think they might have taken it down to like 1 or 2 seconds on the 24 seconds. Like it might even been in the third quarter, and they got a layup dunk.
Yeah, it's if you are able to hold the Nuggets to 21 assists, then you've done your job, because this is a share the ball offense. Their assists are up over 30 almost every single night, right? Which means you did make them an ISO team. And if you make them an ISO team, then you have a decent chance to come out with a victory.
Dems, you mentioned how much the Nuggets relied upon their starters in this game. Well, you take a look at the big three of Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, and Aaron Gordon. 94 of the 127 points came from these three. They had to go to work because of the things that the Chicago Bulls were taking away. What else could these three have done?
I think it's a good question. I would love to see more points in the paint for them. Well, I mean, that 48 that's not a bad number, but usually a little bit more for them. I don't know what more they could have done, to be honest with you. I mean, the Bulls were taking some of this stuff away. Nikola didn't have the greatest percentage tonight, but he put up numbers anyway. I think Jamal, it took him a little while to get going. He did in that fight. He scored the first 13 points for the Nuggets in that fourth quarter, but maybe just wasn't enough from him and penetration and basically collapsing defenses so you can create shots for others.
Yeah, the Nuggets struggle getting anything off their bench. If you look at plus minus, all the Nuggets starters were plus. And we didn't even talk about Cam Johnson. We'll get into him. But you throw his numbers on top of those guys, that's a huge amount of points from 4 starters. And, the bench, Bruce Brown didn't score. Tim Hardaway had an off night, only 2 for 8. Valanciunas was ineffective. So they went smaller lineup. They played Pickett a little bit, had one shot, but they had no points off their bench, and that makes it tough.
Yep.
I should have rephrased the question because I think those 3 did everything they could have done.
Yeah,
I needed
you're right.
more from everybody else.
Katie, you're 100%
there's
right.
nothing else that those 3 could have done in order to get this win. It was just, even the looks were limited. The amount of looks that the bench got for the Nuggets was low in terms of what they're used to getting. All right, we're going to take a quick break here on Nuggets Post Game Live. When we come back, we'll hear from head coach David Adelman, get his thoughts.
Go ahead.
Okay, where do the defensive issues start for you tonight?
The pick and pop killed us. We just were late on rotations. We tried different things with it. To their credit, they just kept going back there. We tried to short up. We had some really good possessions in the fourth quarter. Unfortunately, Vooch got the last one off. We didn't get back to him in time, but that was an issue. And then I just thought them putting their head down. It wasn't like 50 in the paint's not a crazy number, but I thought they were their aggressor most of the game just by the way they played. And then honestly, the defense is one thing. You can't go 3 for 13 on fast break opportunities in a game where that team plays upbeat and fast. And they give you all these chances. 14 points, not enough in the fast break category for what we could have had. We're just really sloppy on the break. So, we had some negatives. But again, we fought, had a chance at the end there. Just didn't have enough.
Jokic was pretty far down, dropped on that last one for Vooch. Is that just the rotation needing to get over there faster?
Yeah, we also were going to veer off and have our small just kind of go back. I think the way they ran it, though, it almost felt like there was no pick. And so is there no coverage? So Vooch, he slipped out. And again, he had missed that shot 3 times in a row. But that being said, to your point, someone has to be there on that catch, to at least get a good contest. So, it was a big shot by Vooch on a night that he really struggled. He made the biggest shot of the game.
Sequence before it looked like you were not going to challenge that. Was that the crowd reaction that sort of prompted you to go back to it?
No, I looked up, and then our guys got a different view of it as well on the computer. And to me, it looked like the ball changed direction, down low. I was surprised. They said that it was inconclusive, meaning they didn't know either way, which is unfortunate. In my mind, if I thought we win this challenge, I still have my timeout. We have a 2-for-1 situation with 30-plus seconds on the clock. I don't have to advance the ball. We could play pick and roll and just attack the basket with those 2 guys. Unfortunately, I lost the challenge. That's on me.
The bench scoring, the huge disparity, what do you attribute that to?
They played better than us. I mean, their bench, I thought he did a really good job. Their starters struggled as far as the plus-minus till the end, but he rotated bodies throughout, and I thought a lot of those guys had games that they haven't had in a while. I mean, I feel like every time we play Javon Carter, he makes 5 threes. It's crazy. But, Ayo was good. Jalen Smith was really impactful. So give them credit. They had a lot of guys step up.
On the bright side, what do you think about Cam Adelman's performance today?
Yeah, Cam was good. And Cam took the same shots that everyone's been saying to Cam. What's going on with Cam? It's like, well, it's going to happen. Cam's going to make shots. That's the bottom line. That's how we've been patient with this. It was really, really good to see. There's always silver linings in these games as you work your way through a really long season. And he was very confident to shoot the ball, 5 for 7 tonight. Hopefully that's just kind of a launching pad for Cam.
You did say it would take 10 games and it took 12. So that's on you.
It is on me. Yeah, no, it's, I just think the biggest thing for Cam is just to continue just to take what's there. Like all of our guys, the same idea. In a win and a loss, like I said, you can find things and grow. And as an individual and as a team, and tonight as an individual for Cam, it was a great night.
You went to
Does coming back from 18 in the first half take something out of you when you start the second half?
Yeah, and that's why you can't start the game that way. I just thought we just got up and down with them. We were scoring. It's always the tough one with us. I knew coming back from that trip we'd be a little lethargic. It was an odd trip, the back-to-back West Coast, fly over your own city, Minnesota coming back here for one game knowing you're leaving tomorrow. And so you have to, maintain poise in those situations and realize if your energy's not there, pick each other up. So I just thought we were a little bit lackadaisical. Shots were short. We were not getting back. We made some mistakes where we weren't matched up after free throws. Just mental things that just kind of add up, and eventually, sometimes they beat you.
Who is to take charge defensively if Payton's in the starting group? With the bench, excuse me.
I thought Bruce was really good defensively in the second half. It was hard for me to take Bruce out, to be honest, just because he was so impactful getting into the ball. Stat sheets say whatever, but I thought he really was good at the point of attack defensively. But yeah, and again, the second unit, you just can't let your offense ever affect your defense. We didn't shoot the ball well tonight, off the bench, and that can't lead to anything on the other end. It has to lead to more effort defensively when you can't make shots.
You rushed on it.
So you heard David Adelman right there reference that late Vucevic 3 that he made. He shot 3 of 13 from the field, 2 of 8 from the 3-point line. There were some problems with the pick and pop coverage, and that was an example of it. We're going to show it so you guys can kind of explain what went wrong defensively for the Nuggets here.
Yeah, so Nikola's going to, he gets dragged out a little far on, I believe that's Herter. Who comes off of that? It comes off that action. And when you get dragged out that far, one of the things you try to do is create long closeouts. And when you come off of that screening action, which really wasn't the screen. I mean,
that's the biggest thing to me.
Yeah,
and David Adelman addressed that too. He's like, we didn't really know if there was a screen even there. So how do you know how to rotate and switch?
Yeah, a ghost screen is, I think, one of the most effective things you can run on a basketball court because the defense doesn't know. Are you switching? Are we staying? And all it takes is that split second for now that shooter to really pop and create a long closeout.
Yeah, I always look at it. You look at all 5 defenders. It's just not Nikola closing out. And I can't remember. Was that Herter that penetrated a little deep? There was, it might have been Payton. Just getting off his man a little bit to plug that drive, maybe a step or two less. Enable Joker to be a step or two close. So it's everybody working together at the same time. And, that's the way it always goes. When you're not playing well, Nuggets defensively not playing well. Somebody that doesn't make a shot all game makes the biggest shot of the game.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. And, Vooch came in shooting over 40% from the three-point line. That is not a player that should be that wide open, regardless of the kind of night that he's having. But I think Chicago ought to be commended for running a play that pulls his man away just far enough so that he had enough room to make that shot.
And a play that they had gotten really good looks on all night, trusting your players and trusting your system. We've gotten those looks. Eventually, one of them's going to fall, and Denver allowed them to get that look off late. Let's talk about a silver lining in this game. Coach Adelman talked about it. Cameron Johnson, the way that he was able to knock down shots, he was confident stepping in, 5 of 7 from the 3-point line. What did you feel like was different about Camp's approach to this game?
He just balled, just play ball, man. And so, I think early on, some of that stuff was getting into the paint, right? He was forcing the issue, into the mid-range, into the rim. But it just looked like he said, you know what, today? I'm going to go out and go get mine. And when he just stopped thinking about it and just started playing, the shots started going down, things started going his way. And when he sees 1 and 2 go in, then they also go in.
I didn't see any hesitation to his game. Other games I saw a little bit of hesitation, and that's where it gets you into you mentally and stuff. But catching up, he had, like Hardaway the other game, he was open, catch, pivot, fire, and he was knocking them down.
There was a looseness and a freedom.
Yeah.
To the way that he was flying around out there.
There really was, Katie. And, the question is now, is that now the norm?
Yep.
Or is there going to be a little bit more? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So we'll see.
We all believe he's a career 39% shooter. Yeah, you're going to have some games where you're going to miss, but 39% is 39%. He's going to get open looks. I think he's going to make them. I think he's going to, month by month, he's going to go up.
Yeah, to me, it's not even a three-point shooting. I don't even look at him as a three-point shooter. He's a scorer. He can do a lot of different things. I think we just do a disservice with him when we're just like, you're a three-point shooter. And then when the player doesn't make them, then we all freak out. And, what all are you doing on the basketball court? He was missing his three-point shots for sure. He also wasn't very aggressive to the rim. He also was hesitating. He was passing balls out that maybe he should have taken a shot. And those things just were not present here today. So continue just to be aggressive in those actions, and he'll be fine.
It did. It totally looked like he just kind of got rid of whatever pressure he was feeling, which maybe the narrative around we need him to be this, we need him to produce, we need him to do these,
And he wanted to be those things,
exactly.
right?
Give him time to grow and develop and find himself and be who he is to this Denver Nuggets team. All right, let's take a break here on Nuggets Post Game Live. Great to see Cam Johnson knock down a couple from deep, even though the Denver Nuggets fall to the Bulls by 3 here at Ball Arena.